Record to the cloud. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And look at all my wonderful European friends that have joined us today and my North American friends. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Tony forgot to push the record button, so now we're recording now. Apparently I was on a roll. So I was touching on the fact that what I wanted to cover today, or at least have a conversation about, is that, this mastermind is, it's a masterclass mastermind about really understanding the power of gold and silver, something that has been hidden from the average person for a very long time. I think, in the back of our minds, of course, we've always known about it, but we've never really been taught, the power of it. I mean, the real power of it, because we tend to think of it more as just something you hold and you just kind of keep holding it. And, it's always nice to have, but so what? Right? How do you do anything with it? Well, that's where 7K Metals, our membership, has become such a blessing, not just to myself, but to my family and friends. And it's now going to become a even bigger blessing as we begin to share it more, given the economic upheaval that is now happening in our Western society, something that we never believed that could happen. Because we've seen it happen in other countries, as you know, we've talked about that before as well. It's not like, there's no track record of that. We've seen fiat become completely worthless, worth even less than wallpaper. And there's plenty of history behind that. And it tends to come from very, very poor, and some would say, not so integral leadership, and they completely destroy countries and the value of their currency. And that's the whole point. Fiat, as we have learned, is in Latin means a currency by force. So this is something that we have never really been, as I mentioned, it's never really been shared with us, like how we've been put into this system that is actually a debt slave system with central banks. And so my topic that I wanted to discuss today was the power of the 7K Metals Sound Money Wallet. Why is that so powerful? Everybody just thinks, oh, because we're buying gold and silver, we can buy it at fractional buying, which is really cool. You've never been able to do fractional buying of any type of precious metal before. So this really is a huge advantage for people who are just getting started, and a fabulous way to save. So instead of saving remember what they're doing in central banks, they've taught us to save, but what are we saving? We're saving in fiat currency into their system, into their institutions, okay, which we thought would be safe. Now we're finding out it's not so safe. Why do I make that statement? So for those of you who haven't heard, that here in Canada, our Prime Minister has since invoked the Emergency Act under some very interesting narratives, which are completely unfounded, completely against the Charter of Rights. And he has frozen personal and corporate bank accounts like that, okay? In a holy instant, bam, without a court order. He no longer needs the cabinet, the leadership no longer needs a court order to freeze your personal bank accounts. And here's the sad thing. They did it. They have done it. Now, this is where I'm saying, I'm not here to try and scare anybody or FOMO you into anything. This is about understanding and really understanding the power of what we have and the blessing that we have in the Sound Money Wallet with our membership with 7K. Because if you do not have the majority of your wealth in a private account, okay, and you still have it in the big institutions, the central banking, the government of Canada can freeze your account. They can pick whatever narrative they want. And I'm going to, I know this is hard for people to believe, but it's happened and it's happening, as I mentioned. But it's also happened to my husband and I many years ago because some civil servant had made a mistake on a child tax credit that they accused us of cashing that we didn't deserve. And my lease for my car bounced. And I thought, that's weird, because I have automatic payment, And I said, what do you mean so the car company called me and said, what do you mean my thing bounced? There's plenty of money in there. Oh, no. So of course I called the bank. The bank informed me that my account has been frozen by the government of Canada. It took me, now it didn't take long before my account was unfrozen. It took a lot of phone calls, a lot of paperwork, because I had to prove, you're going to love this, I had to prove that I didn't have the check. And I said, where exactly in my account have you seen that check get cashed? Why do I have to prove that you did, anyway, long story short, they realized they made a mistake, not through a whole heck of a lot of time and effort on my part, but guess what it did to my credit rating? They admitted that they made the mistake. Okay. I said, just push the button and, reverse everything and get everything. Oh, we can't do that, Mrs. Taylor. That's not how it works. I go, isn't that interesting? My credit rating went from 900 platinum score to 0. It took me 10 years to build my credit because of somebody else's mistake. So don't kid yourself that it can't happen where you live. This is Canada, and it has happened, and it's happening right now. So when people say, oh, it's just, it's just a few that they're trying to go after, I go, oh no, it's happened to us. They can freeze your account. Now, mind you, they probably needed a court order, I'm sure. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. Doesn't matter. The point is that it was horrible. It was a horrible experience. Can you imagine? Right now, you have spent your whole life building your wealth, and now they have just completely turned off the tap towards what you have tried to build up in a system that they have taught you to start saving. So this is why I'm saying the power is ours. We need to take back our power, and we need to become our own bank. The problem is that we never really had something that we could do. We didn't really know where to turn. We didn't know really to go, who to trust, what I'm saying? Does everybody understand where I'm going with this? Can you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's scary, right? To think that you've done all these things right, followed the rules, been a good girl and boy, okay? Only to say, right? Sorry, we've decided, click. Now, you all know that I'm also in digital assets. I'm also in crypto, okay, because I believe in diversification. But crypto isn't any different. Who controls the grid? Right? They can't, everybody says, oh, they can't touch your bank account. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. Okay. So this is why it's such a blessing to be able to share this information with all of you now, because we can empower our friends and our family to take control and protect what they have built because of that sound money wallet. And I've never been more excited than I am now. I know that sounds crazy because we have a solution now. Before, remember what I said when we started this conversation, like, what do? We just kind of went along because what else was there to do? Right? But we have a solution now. We have an opportunity now to make a change, to take some of our power back, to take all of our power back, not just some of it, all of it. And together, we're just so much stronger. We're so much more alike than we are different, so much more. And I really, really, truly believe that this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us. And, because it's important. It's important that we start to really understand the monetary environment of who actually controls what. They need our money in those institutions. right? Because they're the ones that use it. And that's the funny part too, isn't it? We've come to learn that when you keep your money in the bank, you're actually losing money. How did that happen? Right? Remember how they used to beg you to bring your monies and they'll pay you so much to do it? Now it's like it actually costs you money to hold it in the account. It's actually a negative account now. So it's like, well, why would you want to put it there? Because that's all we've known. Nobody's ever taught you anything else. So, but it's changing because of all of you. It's changing because of all of you. Because we're beginning to understand the game and we're saying enough. Enough. There is something I can do. So there was quite a run on the banks this week in Canada that they had to shut the banks down for a while.
Wow.
Yep. Of course, you won't hear that in the news.
Of course not.
Right? Because remember, they also control the narrative, right? So this is something that's really important for people to understand. So just so you know, we are expanding. The 7K metals is expanding. There's apparently some big news coming out of head office in Idaho. They didn't reveal it in Cancun, and I don't think they're revealing it. I don't think they revealed it last night in Las Vegas. I think they're going to be revealing it when they do their big convention in May. But my understanding, Gisela, is that I think the big news is that I think they're working out something with the EU. So they're going to actually have, right now we have the vault, as you all know, we have a private vault in Idaho, which stores your gold and silver if you choose. But you can also have your gold and silver delivered to you ASAP as well. Okay, you don't have to keep it in the vault. I recommend everybody that they both have some in the vault and also in their hot little hands, as they say, which I do. It's very, very important, especially in these times, that if they do turn the tap off, okay, that you have something on hand. Okay, again, this is not a scare tactic. This is just reality. Okay, this is about you being in control of what you've worked so hard to earn. Okay, don't keep it in somebody else's hands that you really don't know. And we trusted them just because that's what we do. No, no more. Okay, the only person I thoroughly trust is myself, you know, and that's where we have to be. We have to be our own bank. And we need to share the power of taking control of that. And they need to start realizing that it is a privilege to use what I've worked so hard for. And we need to start being rewarded for that. So why not start rewarding each other instead?
So, Tony.
Go ahead, honey.
So the Sound Money wallet is like a bank account, yeah?
Yes.
What's the maximum you can hold in there?
There is no maximum limit.
Ah.
And there's no minimum, and there's no minimum either. So if you wanted to buy, I shouldn't say that. Let me just rephrase that for just a second. For buying, there's no minimum fractional buying, and there's no maximum fractional buying or buying with the gold and silver. The cash, there's no maximum limit on that either. So in the Sound Money wallet, you have, as you know, do you want me to share my screen with the Sound Money wallet?
Yeah, because there's another question I need to ask you as well, because
okay.
I've printed the document to be able to take that to the bank.
Yeah.
I've tried to sort out the money, but because it's in dollars and I'm in sterling, it won't allow me to do anything. It doesn't give me any options.
So I can answer that actually quite simply. With our global partners, what you want to do is you want to send a cashier's check in US dollars, or you bank wire in US dollars.
Cashier's check.
Yeah, so you don't keep it in sterling, pounds, or euros. So you would actually have the bank wire in US currency. So the bank would do the exchange rate, and then you would send US dollars to that account.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
So I need to go to the bank and request them to do that.
Yes. And it's all written right there under
on the form.
It's all written out, like what bank, the information.
Yeah, I've seen it because I
yeah,
printed the form. Yeah,
yeah,
but I just
good.
wasn't sure because when I went in and I remember what you did and we sort of the figures and stuff, but because you've got dollars, you're able to do it, aren't you?
Well, see, and okay, and that now here's the other thing, everybody. The company, this is another very powerful part of the Sound Money wallet. You can also fund your wallet with crypto. So there's a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space that, of course, have had some profits, and they can transfer crypto into the Sound Money wallet, which is fantastic.
Sure.
Right? Which is fantastic. That's how I did it in the beginning. I transferred some crypto in the beginning. And then after that, I did what you did. I did a wire transfer, Hyacinth. So I did my Canadian dollars because I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
So I converted my Canadian dollars into US, and then they bank wired the US dollars.
So that's what I'll have to do. I'll have to convert the sterling to the dollars. Okay.
Yes.
That's
great
fine.
Question. So thank you for asking that.
No, because I was thinking, I better ask Tony because I know she'll know.
Yeah, that's a great question. Does anybody else have another question now that I'm off my soapbox?
Oh, sorry.
I had a comment at the moment when we were speaking about this, what you can have in your hands.
Yeah.
Because in Canada, people have frozen accounts. What it also means that it's not only that they don't have access to the banks, but with nowadays, most people don't hold even cash at home.
Yeah.
And then at this moment in Canada, all of those people, they might be really, really, scared.
Yep.
I mean,
they are scared.
Not just because the banks, they were frozen, just because another factor that they have no cash in hands. They have no money to buy food.
That's correct.
And I think the idea of storing some of those silver or gold coins, it's great because if you buy the smaller value coins, you can go and buy grocery with this. You can give it to somebody's hand. They don't have to report it, and they can be safe. They can feed their families.
This is very, very true. Very, very true. And it's so interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Kasia, because everybody always says, I had another gal that shared, actually a friend of Karen, who's here with Quantum Life, Sophia, who's from Budapest, where my dad was from. She remembers when she was a little girl and living in Europe, and nobody was accepting fiat currency at a very, very difficult time. And when the mother was looking to exchange for some food, the people that showed up at her door, they pointed to the silver candlesticks and says, I'll take those.
Wow.
Okay. So, when people say, well, I can't, how am I supposed to buy, food or this or that? Trust me, if you showed up with this, people will take it. As a matter of fact, they would probably take it far more over fiat currency. I mean, the ones that are a little bit educated anyway, if you know what I mean, and are aware. This is where we're at. And you're right, Kasia, we need to always have something on hand. Okay. Everybody thinks they're safe because they've hoarded it all into the institution. But if it's a central bank, okay, they only follow orders. I don't care how high up the food chain they are or who in the bank, they only follow orders. Okay. So it's important that we take our power back and have some fiat on hand, some gold and silver on hand. Just make sure that you are hedging against some type of economic collapse or poor government decisions, which have been clearly spoken here in the last couple of days in Canada. So, and remember, this is really important to our American friends. There's a reason why they're coming hard in Canada, right? They're being infiltrated from the south and they'll be infiltrated from the north. That's how you divide and conquer, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Everybody doesn't understand why Trudeau isn't backing down. There's a real good reason why he's not backing down. because he's having his strings pulled by somebody else. Okay, this is a very important stand for the ones who pull the strings. And we all know what I'm talking about. This is to pretend that this isn't going on is very naive. Very naive.
Hey,
So,
Bonnie, I have something very short that is happening right now to my husband. It's not related to banks, but it's showing the power of those big big brother institutions, let me call it this way. So my husband broke his foot 2 years ago almost, and went to the doctors, and you know, all the story. We paid all the bills. We also had insurance that covered some of the expenses. And last week we started getting mails that we owe thousands of dollars to the place for whatever. And you know, we are like freaking out. So anyway, we found that they are sending us over 2 weeks. We got 4 times bills from that medical establishments for thousands of dollars for x-rays, which my husband actually paid, but we didn't use what they suggested. My husband went to the place where the place was actually covered by our insurance, not what they have suggested, because the place was not using our insurance. And now they are claiming that my husband went to the place that they were, you know, they usually send people to take x-rays. And so after a few conversations, we found out that we don't owe them anything, which of course we knew. But yesterday my husband had called the place again. And so lady was checking account, and she basically saw that, oh, it looks like you don't owe us anything, but then you are still receiving those bills. And my husband is, so when can I get some kind of proof that I do not owe you? Because actually the same day we got another set of bills for that matter. And the lady, she was so scared. She said she's not authorized. Even she sees that stuff on the screen. She's not authorized to send us, you know, proof that we don't owe anything. And she didn't know what to do. So that could happen to anybody and anything in any of those countries that we are living in, that we are, you know, in this big system ruled by big brothers. And this is just a small example. That's what I think that.
Yeah, that's the exact example that I shared with, you know, our story about the child credits, right? It's basically the same kind of thing. That's such a powerful story, Kasia, because when you get into these systems and these institutions that are so big, it's not the person in front of the screen's fault. They're just following the rules, you know, their daily agenda, right? They can't even make a decision without going to their higher ups. You know, you notice how when you have a conversation with somebody on the phone or whatever, you always have to say, I need to speak to your manager. I need to speak to your supervisor, because they can't make a decision. Right. And even they can't make a decision. They even got to go even higher up. This is a way of how they keep pushing you away, thinking, oh, they'll finally give up eventually. Except I'm like a dog with a bone. Now you've got me like on the hunt, and I'm smelling blood. Because when you start to undermine the fact that I'm one of those people that I believed, and I've now since learned that this was a very deep belief for me, that if you follow the rules, how many of you have heard this one? If you follow the rules, you will be rewarded. And how many of you have been following the rules and you're not really feeling the love? Is it just me? You know, it just seems like we have more conversations with, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Why is that happening? That's weird. Right? There's more conversations like that than the way we were brought up. Follow the rules, you know, be a good person, be kind, blah, 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 right? And it'll be all fine. Well, that isn't the case with these big institutions, right? Of course, in some cases, they just give you enough just to tease you along, of course, right? But in the end, have you not noticed that we're losing more and more and more? We're getting less and less and less, not more and more and more. We're having to work twice as hard, right? We're more anxiety ridden. There's, you know, people are just, we have less of everything.
Yeah.
This is not the way our life was supposed to be designed. I got a big thumbs up from Giselle, from Gisela, right? She's feeling it too in Europe. We're feeling it everywhere. This is what I'm saying. It is like this everywhere in the world right now.
There's one more thing, Tony, I'm sorry for interrupting. You know, I came to the United States in 2002, but in a few decades before, so many people were coming to United States and Canada through the harsh journeys, going to the camps in different countries in Europe, and sometimes, you know, although on those stinky boats, you know, earlier when there were no planes.
Yep.
And they were coming to those countries for what? For freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Freedom of choice, for so many other freedoms. And it's so sad that that this what's going on right now, it's devastating me. And I watch some of my friends who came to America or Canada earlier than I have, and it seems like they are aligning with everything what's going on. Like they ran away from what was going on in Poland or other countries.
Yep.
And now they are like, yeah, it's all right, because we are in the country that, you know, protects our freedom.
Yeah,
And
not anymore.
Right.
Okay, we're having a very difficult time. Faith, I don't know what country you're in. I'm guessing maybe America. I'm not sure. Welcome, by the way. Didn't mean to ignore you. She had written something in the chat. Where is it? Is it true that the rules are there to feed the machine, make the 1% very rich and richer, and manage the masses of people so they can keep feeding the machine? We give them our money and time. We volunteer. Yes, we do. It has been a very, oh, Faith is very awake. Thank you for that comment, Faith. Did you want to expand on that a little bit, or share a story that you may have? If you can, you might be at work, but welcome for coming, and thank you for posting that. That's so powerful. And this is true. Fiat is basically a debt slave system. That's exactly what it is. And that's why they don't want us to understand more about the power of gold and silver. And as I've shared before, as I mentioned earlier, as we started our mastermind, this little piece of gold, okay, this 1 ounce gold, it bought you what it bought you 2,000 years ago, buys you the same thing now. I don't know how many of you know that. It's never lost its buying power, ever. Okay. God's money, they call this sound money, gold and silver, but I like to refer to it as God's money. Okay. It has never lost its power, its buying power. It was here when God made earth, and it'll be here to continue. Anything that is man-made is manipulated. Let's just go with that. Even with the best intentions sometimes, right? This is what happens. And so this is where we're at now. There's just too many people at the top of the food chain that don't have the best intentions. And this is what we're doing now. We're the foundation, the fundamental foundation of what's keeping this up on its feet is now being pulled out because we're saying enough. And I'm so proud and so excited for all of us that we're seeing this game, and we are taking our power back. And now we have a fabulous solution with the 7K Metals Company. It's not just about precious metals, as some of you know who have been around. You know, we've got for the United States, for the Americans, we have a health plan for you, both in vision and in dental and health. There is an IRA gold back process that you can do, so you can move your IRA into all gold back. So all your fiat can all be gold back now. We've also got our travel and everyday buying power in there as well. And of course, we've got all of our numismatics. We just had some really fabulous news. Miles Standish, the #1 designer in the global market and the #1 grader of the numismatic global grading company, is now a full partner with 7K. Okay. And our partner NGC is the biggest graded global grader in the world. And then, of course, we also have our stack and sell, which is allowing us to keep our numismatics authenticated, keep an inventory. And eventually, for all of us in the world, it's also going to be a platform for buying and selling. So we can buy, but eventually we're going to be able to sell them as well. So it gets rid of fraud. So we're really tapping into a world, an environment that was only for the, as Faye said, the 1%. But it's now going to be part of our world now. So I'm very excited about that. And I can't share this enough with people because it truly is a blessing. So in a nutshell, if you know a trucker, okay, in Canada, let's start reaching out to all of our convoy friends, our freedom fighters around the world, and let them know that they can take their power back before the government has any more overreach. And this is why I'm so excited about sharing 7K. We have a beautiful Sound Money wallet, as I had mentioned, where you can put your cash safely, your fiat safely, and then exchange it into gold and silver, have it delivered to your home. And there will be no frozen accounts with your Sound Money wallet, which is truly fantastic. Does anybody else have a...
I have an idea. We need the coin with the trackers.
Oh, yeah. We should talk to Miles Standish about that.
Do you understand how fast that would sell?
Right? Right? How cool would that be, right? That would be really cool.
This is really a very hot idea and a really, really good idea.
Yeah. So yeah, really nice. I love Faith's comments. Faith is making some great comments. So is Gisela. I love Gisela has the most beautiful energy. She's just always so effervescent. She's got a beautiful heart. Okay, so Hyacinth, what is the process of buying fractional gold or silver? Can you demonstrate, please? Oh, yeah, I can do that. Okay, so in the Sound Money wallet, super, super easy. I will go to, actually, I got to get my, because you have to be in here. Hang on a second. I got to get to my authenticator to make sure that I'm authenticated. If I share my screen, let me see if I share my screen. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I don't know if I have oh, here we go. Sound Money wallet. Can you see this? No, that's the wrong one. Can you see that screen now? Or
yes, we see everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see the 7K metals screen?
It's loading. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go to my Sound Money wallet. All right. So in here, where you want to do is that if you go down here where it says transfer, okay, I'm going to transfer. First, I need to get in because this is a two-step authentication to make sure. So this is another great thing about the Sound Money wallet. Okay, it's more than just having a password into your back office. If you want to get into the Sound Money wallet, you need to authenticate. So I'm going to use my 60-second code because it changes every 60 seconds. And once you save that, you're good. Now I can go back in and I can transfer. And I want to transfer. Say I want to just buy, and get this. Somebody tried to do a penny. It worked. They had bought a penny worth of silver and it worked. So I'm going to go into my cash balance. Okay. And the destination will be, I want to buy silver. Does everybody get that? Does that make sense? Okay. And then I can choose whatever amount I want. So even if I just chose $1, I've got $1 that I can spend. Okay. And look at this processing fee, free.
So you know the cash balance, is that what's in your account?
That's the fiat that's in my account. Okay.
Okay.
That's the fiat.
So once I've gone to the bank and they've put money in, that's the money I can use to buy it. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, that's
okay.
Exactly right. Yeah. And here's the other thing, everybody. I can transfer. See this cash balance here? I can actually transfer to another member if I wanted to. I can transfer cash to a member. I can transfer silver to a member. I can have gold to a member. How cool is that?
So you just need to know their account. You just need to know what their account details are.
Right. So when you do this, it says, okay, so I want to transfer gold, okay, to another member. All I need to, I'm going to transfer, let's say $100. Okay. Right. You just have to put the username of the member in there.
Okay.
And it's done. It's instant. No waiting 2 to 3 business days, 5 business days. It's instant.
So that's how
Okay.
you buy, food from your local farmer.
Yeah. You can just send them some cash, gold or silver. Do you want cash, gold or silver? And they'll go, oh, I'll take some silver, please. Right? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
That's how simple it is.
So okay, so they can buy the fractional gold, and then when it's all done, do you get like a confirmation?
Yes. So when you go back, so let's just go, never mind. Okay. Actually, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the transfer right now. Hang on a second. Let's do the dollar. Okay. Let's do the dollar. So let's just for fun. Okay. So we're going to go into the cash balance.
Yeah.
I want to buy some silver. I'm going to buy it for $1. Right. Okay. Transfer. Bing. All right. So once that's done, okay. Sound money, cash to silver, $1.
Okay.
Right. So it went down $1 because there was 255 there. Right.
Yeah.
Down $1. Cool, right?
So, but how do you know that you've got your gold? Where is it?
My gold is it is audited and it's in the vault, their military vault.
So that's your balance there that you've just pushed.
Yeah. So this is my balance in silver. This is my balance in gold. So it says ounces. See that? 186.286724 ounces.
So that's what you've got in the vault.
186 ounces.
In the vault.
In the vault.
Okay.
And 1 ounce of gold. And these are all American Eagles in the vault in Idaho.
Okay.
Right. And it's audited every 30 days. It's audited.
And you said that within a month or so when you purchase, or 2 months when you purchase your gold in the vault, that because of political agenda, the value of your investment in gold went up. How much?
Well, see here, see where it says 8. See that where it says I'm going to show you this as well because somebody had asked me this. If you go to your dashboard under my account, you see where it says 1897.70? That's the spot price to buy gold right now.
Okay.
When I bought gold, it was 1794.
How long ago?
Just a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And you invited me to this 7K 4 months ago. So
yeah.
I'm just barely learning. I'm really new in this, learning and understanding, because we are so brainwashed in some ways.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not brainwashed. Okay, let's say like nobody.
We're trained. We're just trained into a system.
Yes.
Thinking that that's the only way to do something. That's all. So
I just I wanted to say in those 4 months I got 5 coins, because I'm just barely learning, and we both, with my husband, we have to learn really basics of it.
Yeah. Okay. So just so you know, those coins that you're referring to, Kasia, those are numismatic coins. So everybody, what Kasia is referring to is the ones that come in the box that are graded by the NGC company. I don't know if everybody can see that. Okay. These are the ones that you don't open. These are uncirculated, okay, specialty coins. They come in what they call a series. So this is what we would call an offensive strategy in the gold and silver world. Okay. The sound money wallet, okay, the sound money wallet, this is the gold eagle. So you got the silver eagle. Okay, the silver eagle and the gold, it comes like this. Okay. In a however many you order or whatever, or in fractional buying that they keep in the vault. That is where you want to have something on hand that you can spend. You don't really spend this. You don't break it open and spend it. You're looking for like your bars, your little grams, your coins during an economic collapse. So this is what you learned. That's the other thing you learned in the 7K is you learned the education. There's a whole buyer certification on what do you buy? Because that's a question that I get all the time, but I don't know what to buy. I said, well, you're in luck. I said, because there's a wonderful buyer certification education program in there to teach you about what kind of an investor are you. Are you buying for economic collapse? So basically you're hedging. Are you looking for diversification? Are you looking for accumulation? Are you looking for, building? So I thought I was just hedging against economic collapse because I don't like any of the decisions they're making these days. But when I went through the certification program, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Holy moly. I'm like all five. I belong in all five categories of when you start to listen to the buyer certification. Again, it's not about you being certified to be a financial advisor or anything. They just call it that. It's just a title to help you understand more about defense and offensive strategies in the world of gold and silver and the numismatics of coin collecting, which is what the wealthy have done for decades, by the way. Okay.
Tony, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, John. Go ahead.
I have a question. It's actually a two-part question.
Okay.
If we're going to take these gold or silver coins to a place and use it to make a purchase, how are we going to get a mutual agreement between you as the person spending the money as well as the merchant who is receiving it to agree upon a value of that coin? That's the first part. And the second part is when they're going to make your change, because I doubt you're going to make a purchase and have exact amount of money.
Correct.
How are you going to agree upon what are you going to get for your change back? You're going to get fiat money, because I don't think a store is going to, or anybody selling anything is going to have gold and silver to give you your change. So is that a really weird question?
No, because remember, we're not there yet, John, right? First of all, what you decide between a buyer and a seller, just like any product or not product, but any item, that's going to be between you, the buyer, and the seller, right?
Okay.
And you're going to have to agree upon that. Okay. Also, when you go through the buyer certification, you'll start to understand what you would want to have on hand in smaller increments. All right. So I've got some gold bars. I've got what they call a combi bar where I can actually snap off little pieces of gram of silver. So they're in much smaller value increments.
Okay.
What do you call that? What do you call that, Tony? Sorry.
They're called Colby bars. And I should I have it in the safe, but it's like, it looks like a chocolate bar. You just
that's what I imagined, to be honest, when you said that. Yeah, I did actually imagine that.
Yeah, you just kind of snap off little pieces, right? And it's just for smaller, like John had his really good question, had asked, well, how do you get change back? Well, when you have the smaller amounts, the smaller precious metal amounts, you don't have to worry about that, right? If you have something bigger, then that's going to become a negotiation between the buyer and the seller. Okay. Does that help, John?
Yes, I guess.
Okay, so how can
I'm not spending any of my gold or silver, so it was just a hypothetical question.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what Sophia had shared, Karen's friend Sophia. It really is going to come down to what the seller is willing to take, right? I mean, if you really want that food, right? I mean, I'm sure that person at the door took more than just silver candlesticks for the food.
No, think yacht.
Right?
Think yacht. I'm not thinking about groceries. I'm thinking about a yacht.
Oh, well, then it's definitely between you and the seller.
Okay.
There's definitely going to have some skills there in the bartering section.
Oh boy.
I like your thinking, though.
Big yacht.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that kind of thinking. Like John is ready to buy it.
Yeah. Does anybody else have a question that they'd like to ask? I just wanted to let you know that I so appreciate you all showing up. We are in such a special place right now to be able to have this company. The founders who started 7K are some of the most incredible, integral, heart-minded people. I am just so impressed with them, with the company, the people that they're surrounding themselves with. I mean, it's just, you can just feel the difference of what the whole intention was, which was just to empower all of us. And we now have the tools and the solution to do that. And yes, unfortunately, we are in some very unusual political, financial, economic, health landscapes that we've never crossed before, and nobody knows where we're going. But together, I sure do know I've never felt more confident, because we have the tools now. We have the solution. We have each other. And that's what gives me such great hope for such a different future for all of us, because we're finally waking up.
It's 10 o'clock.
And remembering that we are actually the ones with the power, and we can do something about it. So thank you, everybody, for being part of this journey, and God bless you all.
Bless you too.
God bless you, Tony. Thank you.
Yeah, bless you.